Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcelo Mendoza. This is my PhD work, producing a self-supervised super-feature-based network for video effect segmentation. And this is my advisor, Mr. Oliveira. We are from the University of Bahia. This is the agenda of the presentation, introduction, the general approach of the method. I will talk about my method of superpixels, details on the video object segmentation method, some results in the experimental analysis, and our conclusions. So, what's video object segmentation? Of course, it's the task of trying to classify the pixels in the foreground of a video according to the objects they belong to. This task can be simpler in the single object case where we are only required to assign just one label to all the foreground objects, or it can be more complex in the multi-object scenario where we have to apply multiple labels to different objects. The methods that try to perform this task can be separated in an ecosystem of different modalities according to the level of human supervision involved in the training and in the first phase. So in the training, our method is completely self-supervised, meaning that our method only uses images without manual annotations to be trained. In the first phase, it is a one-shot method since we provide the first mask annotation of indicating the objects to be segmented along the phase. So the name of the method, SHLS, stands for superfeatures in a highly compressed latent space. And superfeatures are terms that we kind to denote the combination of superpixels and convolutional features. And we create these superfeatures through an embedding model that we learn driven by a metric learning approach. Okay? So, what's the general idea? Given that we have the frame, the superpixel segmentation, and the mask of the objects in that frame, the idea is, the plan is to extract the convolutional features, embed them into the superpixels, and create a representation space where the features from the same object in the image are closer than the features from different parts of the object, different objects. This is the plane, but we have a problem since it's a self-supervised method. We don't have these masks indicating the objects. We cannot use manual annotation. So, first of all, we need to create the inputs to train our method. So, we generate a simple sequence of frames and masks using SHLS detection and data augmentation. So we synthesize this sequence. Here we have some examples of sequence with just a single object and multiple objects blending together different images from a static image data set. And the masks are generated through SHLS detection. So we simulate these videos to train our method. Then we need to extract superpixels. We created a superpixel method called ISAC, which stands for Iterative Over Segmentation via Edge Clustering. This method has as characters to generate superpixels that are adaptive in size, shape, and number according to the image content, which differs from classical superpixel methods like SLIC, which try to generate kind of grid over all the image. Our methods only generate superpixels where there are objects in the image, resulting in being more efficient, especially for processing videos. This superpixel method is based on a concept we call edge density, where we apply a spatial filtering and cluster the edges of the image and take as the contours of the superpixels the outer boundaries of the edge clusters, and we do this progressively. So at each iteration we select fewer edges. So we create we start and create the superpixels from the bigger outer contours of the object and towards the inner details, the inner parts of the objects, and we accumulate these boundaries and make these superpixels. So more on this method in these papers. And talking about our video object segmentation method, it uses the superpixel method, SHLS. Here we have an overview of the training of this method. So we can separate this training into stages. An offline stage where we generate the inputs to train the method. So we generate the image, the masks, and the superpixel segmentation, as I have said before. And after that, we enter the online phase where we take the sequence of any kind, of any size, and we pass each frame through the network and accumulate the errors compared with the mask, sum up the errors, and backpropagate through the network. So what we have in this online phase, we have the convolutional feature structure in the pink box, the superfeature creation in the purple branch. Because we are processing videos, we need to, it's convenient to store the features along the frames to make our method more stable. So we create a memory mechanism in this green box. And finally, the yellow branch represents the segmentation refinement. So let's see more details about this. The superfeature embedding is a model where we extract convolutional features of different spatial size and average them into the area of the superpixels. So this results in a vector, 2 vectors for each spatial size. We pass this vector. This vector, each position represents the features of that superpixel. So we pass these vectors through full connected layers. We take these 2 features prototypes, merge them by one convolution, and this results in the superfeature. The superfeature is this vector with size 1 by s. In practice, we use s as 32. So using our superpixel method for a full HD image, typically results in 1,000 superpixels. We end up with 1,000 vectors of size 32 to represent all the features of a full HD frame. So it's a very compact image representation. Okay, so we train this embedding model using a multi-class contrastive objective. It's convenient to use multi-class because we have the multi-object segmentation test. So we use the entities and loss. We try to make the samples of the same class closer, consider cosine similarity. That is the method learning we use. And the samples of different classes more distance in the representation space, the latent space. Our memory mechanism has 2 strategies, 2 mechanisms. One for short term and the other for the long term. The short term responds quickly to changes in the video, since the object change, it responds rapidly. We take the k nearest neighbor distance, k distance, from the query superfeature to the pool of all other superfeatures in that memory, stored in the memory. In the long-term memory, we take another strategy. On the other hand, we use the distance from the query superfeature to the centroids of the clusters of superfeatures of the same class, because the centroids do not change so fast as the object changing in the video. They are more stable, so this has the effect of more long-term memory. So this plot shows the importance of this memory mechanism to our method. The line shows the stability in terms of self-consistency segmentation throughout the frames. And from the memory mechanism, we generate some attention maps, 2 pairs of attention maps, 1 pair from the short-term memory and the other from the long-term memory. We take these attention maps plus the convolutional features and previous stuff from previous frames iterations, features, masks, predictions, etc., and feed to the refinement range of the network, where we use the attention maps to select a region of interest and make a feature modulator and a feature decoder, aggregate all of this information and generate a loss, a cross-entropy loss. The point in this refinement model of the system, the network, is that in this model we are operating in the pixel level, different from the previous models where we are operating superpixel level. Here we operate in the pixel level so that we can recover from eventual errors caused by the superpixel segmentation or superfeature misclassification. We can recover in this refinement model. Here are the effects of this refinement model, the pre-segmentation in the superpixel level. Here, the pixel level refinement segmentation, where you can see the boundaries of the object are much more smooth. Some errors are corrected. More on this method than our paper from the last year. Talking about some results, we compare our method with several other video object segmentation methods, include both supervised and self-supervised methods. Although the FRAC comparison is only with the self-supervised method, we show all of them to give some perspective where we are in this time compared to this supervised method. But considering on the self-supervised methods in the single object segmentation test, we ranked first in the main data set of this area, the Thesis 2016. And in the multi-object segmentation test, we stay competitive with the best self-supervised method, but I would like to highlight that it was only 10,000 still images to train our method, different from the competitors, which use much more data. They use hours and hours of video to train. Our method is only trained with unlabeled 10,000 still images. That's the difference. We stay competitive. Here we have some qualitative results of the single object segmentation, learned with this method, and multi-object segmentation also. To conclude, our superpixel method either generates few superpixels than other methods while ensuring proper level of object control matching, making it useful to video processing. Our video object segmentation method achieves above 70% of overall performance in the single object post test in the main data set of the area, and ranks fifth in the multi-object post test. This method SHLS provides good segmentation and accuracy while reducing the volume of data. One more time, we only use 10,000 unlabeled still images to train this method. Here we have some reference using this presentation, and thanks. Okay.